Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel, we love our makeup, and we especially love using the makeup we already have. We're not here for Instagram fame or TikTok fortune, although I do those things as well. We're just here for real makeup for our real lives and real people like us. So today's video I'm very excited to do. It's been a hot minute since I did a tag video, and this one definitely spoke to me when I watched several people do this tag. This tag was created by Cate the Great as well as Better Off Red, who is Sarah, and they and their videos will be linked down below. I saw this originally on Sarah Rose's channel, and Sarah Rose is someone who I really enjoy watching. I loved her answers, and it really inspired me to want to do the tag myself. But I also want to mention that Angela is also uploading the tag today, as well as I have watched Riri from the Honest Beauty Review and Angelica Nyquist do this tag as well. So everybody's videos will be linked down below for you, so you can binge and find out what their answers were to the tag. The tag is I should have said from the beginning, the content creator confession tag. And I think this is really cool because it kind of delves into parts of being a creator here on YouTube or other platforms that we don't talk about all that much. And some of these are kind of tricky to answer. So with all that said, we better get started. There's quite a few questions, and I'm going to try and talk as fast as I can. Number one, how do you feel about the term influencer, and do you feel you are one? I think by default, just doing this type of work, being a content creator, we are influencers. That is the definition of being an influencer. And I try not to influence overspending or things like that, but me by default giving my opinions and my reviews on products and things like that, or even creating eye looks that might be inspiring to someone that they might want to purchase the palette, that is an influence on another person. So by default, yes, I am an influencer. I don't really have any negative feelings about it personally, especially in the micro community where I reside. I know a lot of people have sort of a bad taste in their mouth for the term influencer, but I think if we take it at its bare roots of what it really means, it is not a negative thing. But when we're telling people things like, you need this, or you can't live without this, or why haven't you bought this already, that's a different story. Hopefully that makes sense. Number two, how did you decide to become a content creator? I've talked about this a little bit before, but after about 10 years of not really wearing any makeup at all, maybe just the occasional blush or mascara, things like that, I started getting back into makeup because my kids were starting to grow up. They needed me a little less. I had a little more time. Both of them were in school. And so I started wearing makeup again, which inspired my sister to do the same thing. My younger sister is 12 years younger than me. And then she started watching beauty YouTube, and she turned me on to beauty YouTube as well. I started watching people like Emily Noel, Jessica Braun. I just got to the point where I didn't feel like I had enough people in my life to really talk about makeup with as much as I wanted to, because I was so on fire for getting back into makeup. So I decided to create my own channel and be able to talk to all of you guys. And that's kind of how it happened, basically. And then, eventually I started doing Instagram as well. And now I do TikTok as well. And I have a lot of fun with those other parts of being a content creator, as well as also creating YouTube content. Number three, what's your experience with knowing other creators in life, good or bad? Well, most of you probably know that Angela from Beauty and Life with Angela is one of my very best friends, not just here on YouTube, but also in real life. We met shortly after I started my channel, within the first year of my channel, and we had so much in common, and then we met in real life, and the rest is kind of history. We're partners in crime here on YouTube, but we also talk almost every day, and so that's been a great experience. Other than that, I haven't had too many experiences that were negative. I've had a couple that were just kind of off the wall in terms of other creators, which I really don't want to get into because I'm not that person. I don't like to talk about other people negatively, even if I've had a negative experience with them. But for the most part and overall, I find everyone in the beauty community to be really kind and helpful. I've reached out to larger creators. For example, Heather Austin and Christina Brooke have all, answered questions for me or given me information as I progress in the content creating, and and they're clearly farther along in their journeys, and so they do have a lot of wisdom to bestow, and they kindly do so whenever I have questions. So overall, I've had a really good experience. I've been lucky, and yeah. Number 4, do you accept sponsorships and how do you feel about them? I feel like I need to clarify what a sponsorship means to me. For me to consider a sponsorship, there needs to be money changing hands, and there is no money changing hands for me at this point. No one has offered to pay me for my honest review or what have you. I have worked with several brands, and a lot of them offer discount codes for you guys or a small commission if, people shop through my links, but that never has happened. I don't have that big of an audience, and so I've never been paid for my work. However, I'm totally fine with sponsorships, and I think Sarah Rose made a really good point in her video as well, and that is that sponsorships are how we get paid for doing this content creation. We don't get that much money from Google AdSense, which is what pays us for putting ads on our videos. The bulk of people making money and being successful on YouTube and other platforms is through sponsorships. My son makes a living every month in the gaming world of YouTube by way of sponsorships, not by Google AdSense. So it takes a long time before Google AdSense builds up to be enough that it has any real financial bearing on your situation. So I have no problem with sponsorships. I mean, I think people definitely need to disclose them. I believe that's the law. I think it should make sense for the content creator. Like if I did a sponsorship with a gaming company, it wouldn't make sense because I'm in the beauty community. But if it's beauty related, then it makes sense. So I think the content or the sponsorship should be in line with what I do already, but that's just me. And like I said, I don't have any problems with it because we deserve to be compensated for our time and what we do here on YouTube and kind of like providing a service. And that's one of the best ways that we can do that. Number 5, have you had an experience with a brand that left a bad taste in your mouth? Not really. Not really. There's been a couple of brands that contacted me, and they weren't even really very well-known brands, but I've been contacted by a few brands where things seemed a little suspicious in terms of contracts or, what they wanted from me. If a brand wants to send PR for me to try, I don't have a problem committing to talking about it in a video so long as the creative process belongs to me. What I won't stand for is a brand that wants to send me PR and have me only make a video if I have a positive review to make. I'm going to tell you guys, good, bad, or otherwise, when I review products, whether I purchase them myself or receive them in PR from brands. And if a brand asks me not to post because my review is not a positive one, that's not a brand that I want to work with. That's only happened a couple of times. And, clearly I'm very, very small, so I haven't had a ton of sponsorship or, working with brand type opportunities, but overall it's been a pretty positive experience. Number 6, how do you deal with negative comments? I feel like I'm gonna bore you guys. I don't really get a ton of negative comments. I think the one negative comment that sticks out in my mind, and only because I kind of thought it was funny, is that I talk too slow and my voice is annoying. So, and the comment disappeared just as fast as it showed up on my phone. It just so happened that I was looking at my phone when the comment came through, but then when I went to go to the comment, it wasn't there. So I really haven't had a ton of negative comments. You know, I've had a few sort of like pushy comments, like you should depot all of your eyeshadow palettes and then you can dupe any eyeshadow palette that might come on the market and things like that, and that's fine, and I love the suggestion. So, but otherwise, like, I haven't really had any negative comments directed at me, my person, my looks, or anything like that. I've been extremely lucky, and I feel extremely honored that that is the type of community that we've built here on this channel. So thank you guys. Number 7, what is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to comments? I don't really have much. I'm not a person that gets easily annoyed, I guess. I'm pretty low-key, laid back. Hopefully that comes across in my videos. The only thing that maybe like even slightly annoys me in comments is maybe like if something's listed in the description box but the person asks me a question anyways, like what lipstick are you wearing, but it's in the description box because it's a get ready with me. I mean, but it's not even really a pet peeve. I guess I really just don't have any. I love getting comments from you guys. I try my best to answer them and answer them as quickly as possible. But yeah, you guys are great. Number 8, what is your favorite part of being a content creator? I'm going to try not to get emotional. And I've also talked about this before on my channel, but I am not able to work outside of my home. I have scoliosis, I have fibromyalgia, and I'm just not able to show up to work in a way that is fair to the employer or the other employees. I'm just not reliable in that way because of my health issues. And so I haven't worked for a long time. And once my kids started to get older, my kids are 14 and 18 now. As they started to get older and, be more busy and, social lives and all of that, I felt like my need or being needed was less and less. And I was so excited when I found YouTube because I felt like it was a job or a service that I could provide, but within my limitations, if that makes sense. And it is. It's something that I can do. I mean, I hold myself to a pretty strict schedule. I like to have my videos, completed a week ahead of time and things like that. But I do that because I know there's always the chance that I could get laid up or have a bad fibro flare or what have you that would prevent me from filming or doing what I need to do to create content. And so my favorite part about YouTube is just the flexibility of essentially working for myself. Now, I only started getting paid in the last year. It takes a long time to get to that point for most people. And so, there's that. But I love feeling helpful to people. And that's like my main drive for my channel, is to be helpful to you guys, whether that's through reviews, tutorials, etc. I just really like to be of service. I went to school both to be a social worker and to be a nurse. I ended up being neither, but that is where my heart is helping folks. And because I can't do it in the ways that I originally planned as a young adult, I love that I'm able to do that in some capacity. And people may think that it's a shallow thing talking about makeup every day and putting so much time and effort into a channel that has very little financial gain. But for me, it's everything. It's the reason I get up every day. I mean, of course, my family, my kids, yes. But I look forward to getting up and doing this every day. And that's my favorite thing about being a content creator, is just working for myself at my own pace and within my limitations. Number 9, what is your least favorite part of being a content creator? I would have to say my least favorite part of being a content creator is actually just the misunderstanding of other people and what I do or how much it means to me. My family and friends are really great, but I don't think a lot of them understand why I put so much work into it when there is very little financial gain. In fact, at this point, there's like zero financial gain, because what I do earn through Patreon and YouTube and whatnot goes right back into the channel so that I can review new products and share new things with you guys, or upgrade equipment, things like that. So I think people not understanding what I do and why it's so important to me and why I spend so much time doing it is frustrating, and it's just because I purely enjoy it. I also think it's frustrating that a lot of people would look at what I do as not a job, and to me it is my job. This is what I do every day. It's where I put a lot of energy in my life, and when people don't understand that, it's very frustrating. It's sometimes frustrating that when I'm, around the house editing, etc., some, including my hubby and kids, find me to be too available and don't understand that I'm trying to work and that my work is important to me, whether I'm getting paid for it or not. It is my work. It's my chosen avenue for, being of service to the people that need me. So I think that's just, I think it's to be expected. I know my son goes through a lot of the same because he is in the online gaming and gambling sort of genre on YouTube and other platforms, and I think a lot of people don't understand what he does either, or that it's very fulfilling to him to be 18 years old and earning a living and by working for himself. And it's just the thing that a lot of people don't understand unless you're in it. And that is one thing why Angela and I get along so well, because we really understand what each other is doing and why. She has a very similar story to mine. And anyways, I said I wasn't going to get emotional, but here I am. So it's just the misunderstanding of what we're doing here, and that it has importance, even though it's about something like makeup. I mean, makeup is everything to some people. The power of makeup is infinite, and it's a great creative outlet. It's great for those struggling with mental health. So I do feel like it's important what I do, whether I get paid for it or not. Number 10, do you edit your own content? If so, do you enjoy it? Yes and yes. My son has encouraged me in the past to get an editor to free up some of my time, because the editing process is probably the longest part of, for the entire gamut of what happens before a video comes out to you guys. But I really enjoy it. That's part of the creative outlet for me. I just enjoy it. I don't think I would enjoy having an editor, and I hope that I never grow so much that I feel like that's my only option, because I really do enjoy editing. It's time consuming, but I don't know. It's just nice to sort of work through that piece, that whatever I've filmed, and just take that raw footage and turn it into a video that I hope you guys will enjoy. Number 11, where do you draw the line in terms of sharing on social media? For me, I'm a pretty open book myself personally, but that doesn't mean that my husband or my children want their lives out in social media, and I 100,000% respect that. So I don't post a ton of pictures of my family on my social media related to my channel. And, I don't give their personal information. Obviously, I don't share things if I talk about them that I question whether they would want me to share those things or not. But I do share some. I am a mom. I'm raising kids. I mention things like, my daughter has a dance coming up and I get to do her makeup, and that's fun, and, whatever. Or you guys crack me up when I talked about my husband and I, Brian and I, our anniversary was in March, and several of you called him Mr. Journey, which I just thought was hilarious, by the way. So I just try to, of course, protect myself and my personal information, but at the same time, protect my family and let them share what they want to share on their social media platforms. And I can just talk about all the dang animals we have, like Oliver over here. Number 12, name one thing you wish you knew when you started out. I don't know, to be honest. The only thing I could really think of for this one is that I wish I had known how long it would actually take to arrive at that milestone of 1,000 subscribers, which is, you know, a huge milestone because you can monetize your channel. And I did not think it would take me almost 4 years to do that. And I've never been here for the money, but I've always wanted to sort of support this habit or hobby or, you know, my own work and investing in my work. So it took years. So I guess that would be the one thing. But I mean, other than that, I really don't have anything on that one. I have enjoyed every bit of the process of learning and figuring things out on my own. I love to figure things out on my own. I figured out editing on my own. I still film on my phone. I still edit on iMovie, which is one of the most simple editing programs that you can use. But Emily Noel also uses iMovie, so clearly I'm not doing anything wrong. I've enjoyed every bit of the process of learning how to do this and do it, you know, to my best ability. Number 13, is there any change you'd like to make to your content in the future? Not really. I finally feel like I've found my niche and a balance of content because I still want to try new things and I still want to project pan and I still want to bring you reviews, but also other content that encourages you to use what you have. And so I feel like I'm finally at that place where I'm striking a balance between those things, but also like niching down the whole real makeup for real life and real people. I'm not here to do crazy editorial looks. I like color and I like playing with color, but I'm not capable of these fancy eyeliners or lashes or the whole deal. I just am who I am and I enjoy, you know, I'm on a journey in beauty and I'm here to share it with you, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So I don't see myself making a lot of changes to my channel in the future. Of course, I'm always wanting to grow and do better and learn, but in terms of the type of content that I'm creating, I feel like I finally found where I'm meant to be. And that's maybe one of the things that I wish I had known sooner is that, you know, you do need to sort of find or decide where your niche is going to be on YouTube. You can't just be a beauty YouTuber. It's kind of, you have to niche down. Are you for reviews? Are you about something else entirely? Are you just tutorials? Are you just a project panner? There's plenty of those out there that only upload project pan content, and that's great too. But I feel like I'm finally striking a balance, not only in my life, but in my channel, and I'm just really happy with that right now. Only 4 more questions. We're getting there. Number 14, what company or collab is your dream? I would have to, I don't know, because the 2 brands that I would say would be, of course, Natasha Denona and Charlotte Tilbury, but neither one of those brands really does collabs. I mean, if I could work for Charlotte Tilbury or Natasha Denona in a different life where I'm a healthy person that can go to a job, etc., although I know that they have online beauty advisors for Charlotte Tilbury, which would be something I could do from home. I don't know. I don't know that I want to be anything beyond just a creator of content, but you know, those are my favorite brands. If I had to pick a drugstore brand, I think that I would pick L'Oreal or Maybelline. Number 15, what other creator do you admire or want to work with? 1000% Emily Noel. She's always been my number one. I have no doubt she always will be. She's so genuine. She's so in line with what I want my channel to be, which is a balance of new and using what we have. And she's such a nice person. I feel like our lives are somewhat similar, though her kids are much younger than mine. Like, that is our life. Like, she's dedicated her life to being at home with her family and doing YouTube, and that's what I've done. So definitely Emily Noel, but I also really have to say Sarah Rose, and not just because she inspired me to do this video, but I love Sarah's channel, and I think that her channel is definitely one of the channels that has most helped me to get to the point where I am now, in terms of niching down, in terms of wanting to find a balance, and just mostly encouraging folks to use what they already have. And I just have great respect for her conscious consumerism, her cruelty-free status. I think the world of her. And of course, we are miles away from each other in terms of our real lives or our personal lives, but I would love to work or collab with Sarah Rose on a video, you know, on repurposing project panning products, or just in general, you know, I don't know. I would do anything. If she wanted to collab, I would in a hot second. Sarah, if you're watching this, DM me. Or what kind of content do you hate? Well, I am definitely one of those people that doesn't hate very many things, but one thing I do hate in the YouTube world is like gossip content, exploiting people's personal lives. Just because we put some or part of our personal lives on the internet, the interwebs, doesn't mean that people have the right to exploit that or to use it against us if something arises in the future. And people, you know, talking about people's fertility problems or their divorce or whatever, even if a person shares with you that they're getting a divorce in their video, does not give you the right to speculate what their divorce was about or who wanted it or the other. You know, I just cannot stand gossip channels of any kind, not just within the beauty community. I think overall, I just can't stand that. I can't stand it in real life, and I certainly can't stand it in the YouTube sphere. You know, what we do is a service here, and if we choose to share our personal life, does not give anyone a right to exploit that in any way, shape, or form. And that's about the only thing that I can think of that I hate. And number 17, have you ever had to deal with cancel culture? And if so, how? The only way I really could think of that I've dealt with cancel culture is being afraid to purchase products from brands that people have canceled, in fear that they would then cancel me or not want to subscribe to me anymore or what have you. I've definitely learned to let that go as I've gotten further into my journey here, and you know that I just want to be myself, and if a person accepts me for myself, then great, and if not, that's okay too. So, but otherwise not really a lot. And I feel like cancel culture had a moment there, like 2019, 2020, but then I feel like it's kind of revved down a little bit as of, you know, the last year or so. That's about it. I remember, you know, just certain people being sort of canceled, and I first think that's terrible. I mean, some people, and you know, what they do, I think probably earns them that, but still, I don't want to participate in it. That's not for me to judge or decide. And that is a very heavy end to a very long tag, but I really enjoyed this tag. I think this is a great way to get to know other creators, because it's, you know, really delves into beyond the makeup or whatever, you know, creator content that you create. Oh, that was a hard one. Thanks to Cate the Great and Better Off Red for creating this tag. I think these are important questions to put out there into the beauty community and to help you guys to understand us better as content creators, why we do it, and the things that we sort of experience as a part of being content creators. I'm done talking, apparently. So, and thank you to Sarah Rose for inspiring me to do this video. Her answers were fantastic, even more in depth than I went, I think. But that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video in some way, shape, or form, or found it helpful. And if you did, I hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already. That way we can see each other in my next video. And I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days.